Lexus finally has a dedicated 3-row family hauler. This is the all-new TX. Let's go. Built in Indiana alongside the Grand Highlander. Of course, this will share the K platform and a lot of the same, underpinnings as the Grand Highlander. Watch my review and driving impressions in Hawaii on that vehicle. But here is an all-new 3-row crossover for Lexus. Is exactly what they've needed in their lineup for so long to appeal to large families. Now, what we see here is an incognito paint color. We first saw this on the first ever Lexus Fsport Performance vehicle, which was the IS 500. This Fsport Performance 500H will be available at launch, as well as the TX 350. Let's get into the design of the Fsport Performance model. 22-inch wheels. Now, there's going to be a few different grades for the Lexus TX. The luxury model, there'll also be a premium model as well as a standard model. The standard model and the premium will have 20-inch wheels, and these are of course exclusive to this Fsport Performance model. We got the paint matched wheel arches here, something that we didn't see in the Grand Highlander, I don't believe. And this grille is a little bit unique to this Fsport Performance. We have blacked out, it almost looks like dotted lines in the road. Pretty cool. And this is the first ever iteration of this type of spindle grille. Lexus has a specific name for it. I'll put it on the screen for you guys right now. Now, these are the Lexus L Motif daytime running lights. They're very long, and they're actually flipped up. Typically, we see this rotated about 180 degrees. I think it looks really cool here. Fog lights down here at the bottom with a lot of glossy black plastic. I think there's a little bit of ribbed design here, a little striation to give it some extra flair. Also, the bottom portion of this Fsport Performance grille is, I think, unique, especially with this glossy black here and these silver trimmings on the bottom. I don't think you'll see that on the other grades. All right, the wheelbase on here is about 116 inches, which compared to the Lexus RX, it's about 4 inches bigger wheelbase wise. And so it is substantially larger than the Lexus RX or front to back. Now we kind of have that floating roof line here, which we don't see on the Grand Highlander. We have glossy black roof rails, glossy black B-pillar, as well as that floating roof line portion. We have the light bar that comes across, which is a Lexus design trait at this point. Lexus typed out onto the hatch. And here is that 500H Direct 4 with a little diffuser built into the bottom. No visible exhaust tips here. Parking sensors on the back on that glossy black portion. Let's go ahead and lift up the lift gate here. We have, well, I saw a little camera there, so I know we'll have a digital rearview mirror. With the seats folded down, we have tons of space. You can even fold down that second row of seats for almost 100 cubic feet of space. But this has an automated seat function, which is not available. There we go, it's going now, which is not available on the Grand Highlander, for example. But like the Grand Highlander here, we have 20 cubic feet of space behind the third row. I like this little attention to detail, a little leather piece here to lift up this storage. And then we'll have a spare tire underneath here. You have your jack and a tonneau cover in there as well. Here's your power plug and 1500 watts. Excellent amount of power here in the 500H. A little speaker back there as well. And I think there's an optional speaker system on here, the Mark Levinson, which will be 21 speakers, similar to the Lexus GX. Now this has the digital latch door handle here, which the door handle doesn't actually move. It's just a little button that releases the door and then you pull. And then here's the digital latch on the inside, which you just press and open the door. We saw that on the Lexus NX and RX redesigns. All right, Mark Levinson speakers, 21, like I said, very soft. Like this is so much better quality. Like this portion on the very inside is hard, but this portion soft. So much better quality from the Lexus, from the Grand Highlander that I drove in Hawaii. Sunshade back here is great to see. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's standard across all grades because it is standard on the Grand Highlander. Now this is also different than the Grand Highlander. The seats feel or look bigger. Obviously the two-tone, they're like, the materials here are night and day different between, that suede right here on this F-Sport is just really nice. But this button is not on the Grand Highlander. So you would press that, there it goes, slides forward for you. Otherwise, like the Grand Highlander, you'd pull this if you didn't want to touch that button there. So let's get in the back, and it's going to be impressive because it's going to be very similar to the Grand Highlander, which my head doesn't touch the roof. I'm at 6'1", and look how much leg space I have. I have a USB-C back here on this handle, and I can actually recline the seat with this button. Check that out. That's unique to the Lexus as well. I love that we have vents back here to keep your passengers cool in the third row. And also like a tablet holder here, a couple cup holders. And check out the little attention to detail. Nice leather piece here with the stitching. Now, this is not a direct carryover from the Grand Highlander, for example, but it is very similar. We just have maybe a little bit more attention to detail here compared to the Grand Highlander. And this piece does fold out pretty easily here. And then you can slide people to the back. Now, there we go. Clip it into place. I'm gonna go ahead and sit in the second row. Check this out. On this Fsport Performance, we have heated and ventilated outboard seats. Awesome to see. We have USB-Cs back here. A little storage cubby right there as well. And then you have your household plug-in AC, 1500 watts. Mat pockets on each side. The back of these seats feel awesome. Even from the back, I can tell these are Fsport seats from the bolstering that we have on it. A large panoramic sunroof here, which is great to see. Vents up here at the top, just like in the third row. And we don't have soft closing doors, so I hate to burst your bubble there. And another little attention to detail. Fsport Performance models have a black background around this badge, when a typical like Fsport handling, for example, is a white background. Fsport steering wheel, perforation on the side, nice dimples, and a customizable steering wheel. That means you have a customizable head-up display as well. Aluminum pedals and first ever TX here on the mat. Fsport skid plate here, door sill. We don't have thigh extension here that I saw in the Lexus GX a second ago. But we do have lumbar control. It's not vertical lumbar control. Maybe we would see that on, let's say, the luxury model. This door panel, in pictures it is kind of plain, but when you touch it, it feels very, very luxurious, very high quality, super soft material, especially right here. I don't want to take my hands off of it. Even around the Mark Levinson speaker. So just because it doesn't pop and have a lot of depth to this panel and maybe detail, it makes up for it in the quality of materials here. All right, auto folding mirrors, no surprise, digital latch. And check out these Fsport seats, embossed on the headrest. With this two-tone, we have that suede on the inside of the bolster, as well as inside of the bolster on the bottom cushion as well. I don't think I've seen that on an Fsport Performance model before. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on, the accessories on real quick. There's that digital rearview mirror. Just looking at the back of the building here. Fully digital screen, 12-inch screen. Thank the Lexus gods for making this happen. We see it on the new Lexus GX. It is not standard here. It might be standard on the Fsport Performance, but on the TX 350 models, maybe the premium and standard, you'll have, I believe, a 7-inch screen right here. What is standard is this 14-inch screen across all grades. It's awesome. 3 USB-Cs up here in the front. We have a parking assist system in here, 360 camera system, which better close the door because it won't work. And I'm gonna roll the window down because there's no AC going on in here. You might be able to tell I'm sweating. That's a good thing. I'm hot for the TX right now. Bird's eye view camera, wherever you want, panoramic view monitor, depends on the brand, right? Heated and ventilated seats up front, heated steering wheel. Here's your charging port. Here's your small little shifter, which is very reminiscent of the NX and RX. A couple buttons here like auto brake hold and traction control, all-terrain mode. And then this opens up from 2 different buttons. So all felt lined, very high materials, high quality materials. You actually have a little puddle lamp in there as well to illuminate your items in there. What about the quality materials here on the dash? Very, very soft. And check how this slopes down. Very tiered system here. I feel like we have 3 or 4 different tiers just on the dash. Excellent. I mean, that super soft material from the door flows into it. Looks great, feels great. And yeah, very happy overall. A little plastic in here on this piece. I wish maybe it was more of like a wood-like trim like we have on the GX, for example, but we have suede actually at the bottom of the dash here. We have hard touch on the glove box area, but felt lined on the inside, feels great. You'll have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wireless on this new Lexus Interface. You have Google points of interest in here as well. Paddle shifters control the 6-speed automatic on this model. Ooh, you can actually see the head-up display, which is great. Hopefully that comes up on the camera. Soft touch for your knee here all the way forward, like it goes soft touch all the way to the dash. Very, very impressed with the comfort here and the quality of materials. especially coming out of the Grand Highlander. The new TX had to knock it out of the park with quality materials, and they absolutely have. Let's see if we can open up the sunshade so you guys get a better idea of the light. Well, I mean, it's dark in here, but at least the potential light that can flow in from this massive panel roof. Gotta love that feature on such a big vehicle. Just a small detail, you can see that Lexus typed out onto the headlamp here. And there's no triple beams on this, just a single bi-LED, but it's done really well. It's not quite as luxurious as, let's say, the Lexus GX headlights, but I think they look really, really good here. We have shocks to prop up the hood on each side. 2.4 liter turbo, that by itself is around 275 horsepower. There's electric motor up here as well, and then there's a bigger one in the back. So like I mentioned, 366 horsepower, over 400 pound-feet of torque. Base models will still have this engine, just not electrified, with 275 horsepower. And then you have the plug-in hybrid, which takes out this 4-cylinder turbo, puts in the good old 2GR 3.5 liter V6 for a total of 400 plus horsepower and 30 miles per gallon and 33 miles of electric range. Can't wait for that to come to the market. And let's go ahead and just close this hood and close out this video with the Lexus TX. What do you guys think? Are you jazzed for it? It's exactly what Lexus needed. In fact, it might actually be more important than the Lexus GX for their lineup, as this is one of the last segments, in my opinion, that they're missing out on for a volume vehicle. But thank you guys for watching. If you're excited for the TX, smash the like button. I just can't wait for the plug-in hybrid, and I can't wait to drive it because it's unlike any powertrain we've seen before from the Lexus lineup. But catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and peace.